And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you never trust Paul Heyman. Unless you are a visionary, unless you are a revolutionary, unless you are Seth Jesus Rollins. He has risen just in time for Easter. Whoa. I'm Sean Renton with my review WWE WrestleMania 41 Night 1. Allegiant Stadium or Elysian Stadium, because honestly there were several legions they should have cut off of this card, and do not worry folks, I'm going to get into all the minutia in just a little bit, but I want to know what you guys thought of WrestleMania 41 Night 1. I thought it was pretty much a two-match show, the beginning and the end, and oh boy was there some stuff in the middle right there. So the capacity go up to about 72,000 for football, and they said they had 61,467 people. Apparently Shawn Michaels was eyeballing another arena nearby because, yeah, bullshit, I'll eat your hat. Maybe 55 to 56,000, but they count everybody that works in the staffing and people that were buried underneath the stadium during the construction. So, I missed most of the pre-show due to the fact I was working. That's okay, no big loss. I don't know why Jackie skinned a disco ball to make her dress. She looked good, but that's really about all I have to say. A couple notes. WWE apparently has bought AAA. And given the staff, that populates AAA and how Stephanie McClure has used to have ties to a couple people, like her abusive ex, boy, I really hope WWE cleans house with some of the people that don't belong in wrestling, and they use it as a feeder system, and they just maybe, I don't know, have some talents that aren't being used go down there, and maybe we can just have something go. Apparently AAA lost his TV deal, and Conan made a deal, so there we are. At least Conan was helping run things. I don't know enough about AAA beyond the fact that CMLL is doing a whole lot better. And yeah, that's certainly surprising. As for The Rock posing with a New Japan Pro Wrestling t-shirt, unless this leads to Bushiroad saying, yeah, we'll cut you a deal, I think he's just trolling. So, WWE buying AAA, and Rey Fenix replaced Rey Mysterio. It's Rey on Rey action. Dana White talks about Paradise, the city of dreamers. Ironic for a guy that slapped his wife and pals around with a guy that hates people that are dreamers and want to come to this country to pursue their dream legally. Jelly Roll sings. I mean, I should have said that in quotations. I don't really care for this guy, but I don't think he's a bad person. So, all the shots of the military, ironic considering that this company is parading, and talking about, in interviews, somebody that got out of being in the military due to bone spurs because he's a coward. And you're all cowards for voting for him. I'm just going to needle all you fucks until you get off my channel and you maybe, I don't know, just get off this fucking earth because none of y'all belong here. You don't. We have put up with this for goddamn years. You're goddamn idiots. You're all morons. I told members of my family this, so I don't care about calling you guys this. I don't care, because I told longtime friends of mine, you could drop over and turn blue for all I care. Nevertheless, all the shots of the military, talents arrived, video package, the realest that's ever been, ever. Or the realest it's been, ever. I don't really understand why Triple H needs his ego stroked more and more and more. I did not watch the Hall of Fame. I'm not going to review the Hall of Fame because I don't fucking feel like it. 67 minutes of Triple H talking. If you want me to review the Hall of Fame, I will, but I just don't see the point. Liz should have been there, not Lex. They should have Mac and Mead him, if you know what I'm talking about. So, Triple H in the ring, Hall of Fame speech. It's still going in some alternate universe. And the set looks great. Are you ready? And here we go. There's another Fatal Fury game. I didn't even know Fatal Fury still existed. I knew SNK did, and that's really getting back to my childhood with arcades. The Not Nitro girls were there. I don't know who this DJ guy is, whatever. I don't know if it's good music or bad music. The Raiderettes are in the crowd. You done picked really good there, Vegas. You done picked really good. Jay walks to the ring for his long entrance, yeeting, all that and whatnot. And Gunther makes his entrance. A couple Saudi officials are there. Keep your heads on a swivel or they'll swivel your heads around. Commentary by Cole, Wade, and Pat. Actually, the commentary was done by Wade and Cole and Pat. Cole was either drunk or stupid, probably both, and Pat, I am sick of Pat McAfee. I mean, I'm sick of him basically acting like he's such a smart individual when he's really not. He's a motherfucking idiot. But also, he's worn out his welcome. So, Alicia Taylor as the ring announcer. She provides energy, I'll give her that much. So, Jey Uso against Gunther for the secondary World Heavyweight Championship. So, I'm going to say once again that had they not done the Saturday night's main event match just before WrestleMania, and had they actually done a better job, building this until the last couple weeks, with Jey being handcuffed or zip tied and watching Jimmy get busted open and bleeding, which is honestly the best use for Jim Uso. Had they done a little bit more of that, I might have actually been more into this. Look, I'll say this. Gunther's great. Jey's super over with the crowd. I knew what the result was going to be. It was the right result. It was the right goddamn result, but I wasn't feeling this match. It was all right. It was all right for what it was. Jey kept laughing. Even after he kicked out of a splash after a belt shot to the head. He hit his own powerbomb, hit a spear. We got a splash, 2 splash, 3 times the Uso. And then he choked out Gunther to win. I mean, when Ilya Dragunov did it, and they were like, I think it was TakeOver 36 match, that was better. Had Gunther just passed out, I'm sorry. Had he just passed out, it would have been better. Whatever. I'm not saying Gunther's buried. I'm not doing that. It's not the finish I would have done, but hey, Jey won. Then Jimmy came in, and I was just saying, hit him with the title, Jimmy. Turn heel on the biggest stage. He didn't. And then they went and celebrated. So, yes, it is now the World Heavy Yeet Championship. Had to work that one in because somebody would have been mad if I didn't. Rick Rubin is there, the man that helped fund Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I swear to God, I thought that he was dead. Chris Angel. I don't know why Chris Angel is there. George Little was on his 8th beer of the evening, clearly. New Day had Giant Gonzalez fur on their outfits, and the War Raiders, I dressed myself. That was the Quest of the Delta Knights had better costuming than that. Who came up with that? Also, we came up with a bright idea to put New Day and the War Raiders on a WrestleMania card. And all due respect to the talents, I'm sorry. This was a Raw match. There were some decent moves, and New Day won with shenanigans. So, new tag team champions. What do you want me to say? I'll say this much about O'Shea Jackson Jr. Den of Thieves 1 and 2 suck. So Naomi comes out with caution tape and a new theme. Okay, that's a good idea. Let's lean fully into this heel turn. And the entrances went about 4.5 minutes. I started timing these entrances, not because I wasn't interested in the talents, but this thing had such little, wrestling bell to bell. And I know ads, plugging. Xfinity was plugged about 8 million times. There were more graphics on the goddamn ring mat than New Japan and fucking CMLL put together. But at least with that, you're used to it. With WWE, I get it. Advertising dollars, but it looks ugly. I did find the weather report, Sharknado style thing funny for Jade. Jade comes out looking incredible. She has a great look, and she's got a great look for Hollywood. Jade and Naomi, good on both of them. They took it seriously. I wish I didn't hear so much spot calling during this entire show, and not just here, in the main event. I'll get to that. Oh boy. But Jade did catch Naomi to hit a jackhammer variation. That was nice. Naomi was keeping up the heel offense. We got a split leg for 2. There was then a weird, almost an inside-out powerbomb. I thought what she was going to do. Jade picks her up and ends up hitting her with some kind of, flash powerbomb, and then eventually hits Jaded 1, 2, 3. Wasn't a bad match. They did what they needed to do. It was mostly there. That's not to say it was bad. And I'll say as far as a feud, this is probably the most well-built one outside the main event. But there we are. Cardi B is hosting SummerSlam. Hey, Cardi B. Why is she here? And if you know what movie that's from, I love you guys. Jacob Fatu against L.A. Knight. Yeah, Jacob Fatu. I'm thrilled for him. as far as a talent that I saw at some indie shows, actually met briefly at one of the shows almost 6 fucking years ago. LA Knight arrives in a very nice car, apparently a Maserati. I don't know enough about cars, but it looks more expensive than anything I'd ever want to spend money on. God forbid, even if I was a multi-millionaire, I don't think I'd want to get one of those cars. Jacob dominates. Knight comes back. A German release off the top that was beautifully done. And then a senton by Fatu. No man that size with that, with that weight about him. And even though he's dropped weight, should be able to move that effortlessly. He moves like he's 180 pounds. Split crowd, I'll say that much. There were people cheering for Knight, and there were people cheering for Fatu. And it wasn't that they hated Knight, they were just cheering for Fatu. BFT, 1-2, hand on the rope. Samoan drop off the ropes, and 2 moonsaults. 1, 2, 3. Jacob Fatu is a new U.S. champion. Why did we give Nakamura the U.S. championship when LA Knight could have had a long run, and it would have meant more? Well, Jacob Fatu won. Oh no, Haku's here. Quick, show him the Shockmaster clip or he'll kill us. I've actually heard Haku is very nice. So, now we get to probably the thing I hated on the show the most. Gable getting a mariachi band. I'm sorry, but look, it's not up to me to decide how offensive this actually was. It offended me as a wrestling fan. I would like to know if people were okay with this, that are from this background. People that are into Lucha Libre and stuff like that. Was it comical? Was it good heat? Or was it just the fact that Gable could have been taken seriously? I mean, Gunther made his goddamn kids cry, and it looked like they were going to treat him seriously, and now they had American Made happen, and they've been completely nullified. And now Grand Gable Americano. And I know what the hell he's called. I don't care. I hate this gimmick. It's worse than Shorty G. Because they should have learned from that. But Triple H apparently learned too much from Vince. Hopefully not that much, but... honest to God, this was just bad. Rey Fenix was his opponent. El Hijo del Vikino, or Vikino, is there because they signed AAA. But they bought AAA, and man, it's going to be interesting to see if he's there. And you think it's a way to stick it to Tony Khan because there were certain talents that he was using? Or is it just the fact that they had apparently lost their TV deal and they're like, yeah, we'll buy you? Dana White got booed, not once, but twice. And that's good. Not only did the man slap his wife, but he wants to be Trump's lapdog. He deserves to get booed. So does everybody that wants to support him. Don't worry, more on that here in a bit. Michael Cole called him Chad Gabbo. Gabbo. Did you see that? Yes, I think it's about some man named Gabbo. All right, a reverse 450. Look, Gable can work. It's just this is a stupid gimmick. He put a metal plate in his mask again. Phoenix kicked him, hurt his leg, ankle lock, headbutt, diving headbutt, 1, 2, 3. I know it was on short notice, but really? Really? This gimmick's already played out. This is a bad gimmick. Rey Fenix lost. It is what it is. Vikino helped Rey Fenix up, and when Rey Fenix is the bigger of the two, we have problems. Recaps of WWE acquiring AAA. Stephanie looked amazing, by the way. Stephanie Vacour, my goodness. My goodness. With absolute respect, what a goddess she is. Anybody, whoever that guy is that apparently, did abuse her and really treated her badly. That guy doesn't deserve to see the light of day. I mean, nobody that abuses their partner or abuses somebody deserves that. Stephanie deserves the absolute goddamn world, and I hope she gets it. Shawn Michaels comes out to announce 61,467 while keeping both eyes on each side of the arena without turning his head. Yeah, I'll eat a goddamn hat if they actually had 61,467 fans there, not people. So, they showed Dana again. He got booed again. So, champion comes out first. Tiffany comes out of a Barbie box. This is not what fans expected when WWE decided to show us Tiffany's box. So, Charlotte gets a car and pyro. Thankfully, Ric Flair wasn't behind the wheel, though Charlotte has had her own issues. Charlotte versus Tiffany for the Women's Championship. Okay, that terrible off-the-rails segment on SmackDown. I'll let you pick which one. There's no way that this was going to be good. And there were times where I think they were trying to make it good. I don't know if Tiffany was just a little lost. There was spot calling, spot botching in this thing, and I'm going to put that on Charlotte. Because Charlotte, to me, seemed grossly unprofessional in this. They worked shoot to start, or they were working shooting to start. The crowd loved Tiffany. Every time Charlotte drew a breath, they didn't want to even see it. Tiffany was bleeding, apparently chipped a tooth. I hope that she can get that fixed, and I hope she's all right. Target the leg, Tiffany, for massive damage, and then Charlotte targets the leg. The moonsault with the knees up, and it's funny where, Michael Cole says, Tiffany isn't the only one that has a gorgeous moonsault, but there's a gorgeous moonsault in the ring with us right now, Michael Cole, you piece of shit. And I'm sorry, you can say that he's better without Vince in his ear. He's still a rotten commentator. A roll up for 2. A natural selection off the top. In theory, she could have just fallen off the ropes near Tiffany and somehow hit her more. Because Charlotte just didn't give a fuck here. Charlotte had boo-boo face, the instant she came out. You could tell she had job face, and I don't really care if that's a bad thing. I don't wish anything bad to happen to Charlotte. I do not. I don't know what led to her and Andrade El Olio getting divorced. I don't care. But the fact is, Tiffany deserved better than this, especially for her first WrestleMania match. And good grief. She did eventually, we got, a rough sequence of, I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do, reversals and spot calling and PME 1, 2, 3. I mean, thank fuck Tiffany retained. This is the only well, actually, I got 2 predictions wrong. I got the last 2 predictions wrong. But I'm glad I got this one wrong. It's just, don't give Charlotte any more title shots. I mean, I'm goddamn serious. If Charlotte's contract is up soon, let her go. Just let her go. She does not need to be there anymore. She doesn't want to be there anymore. If she's going through stuff because of her personal things, give her some time off. And maybe she'll find that spark and actually care. Because I loved what her and Rhea did at WrestleMania 39. I have loved some Charlotte matches in the past, but I just don't want to see her anymore. That's why I'm not even going to bother watching SmackDown for a while. Hall of Fame 2025 clips. Liz should have been there instead of Luger. Brett looked like he wanted to punch Triple H out. That was hilarious. Rollins has a flamethrower. He goes from black to white. Shrieking Johnny Cash noises. So, Roman Reigns considers himself centrist Democrat, but yet he voted for a guy that wanted to cut funding for cancer research and is actively trying to, and he's a 2-time cancer survivor. And I'm glad he beat it, but that's showing something. I've got the money and fuck y'all. And he's got kids. Oh, he's from Pensacola. He's from Northern Florida. That kind of explains a lot. Sorry for those who are from Northern Florida. I'm sure some of y'all are lovely people. But Roman apparently has taken too many shots at the head. Yeah, we don't know these people. But we want to believe that the people that we actively cheer for or watch on TV at least have a little bit of sense. Especially somebody that is such a goddamn part-timer that, I mean, my God, Brock showed up more. But then again, it's probably a good thing Brock didn't show back up, given that he's involved in that lawsuit. So, we get a layered video of Punk from, the OVW days to now. This fire burns. It's great stuff. Living Color plays him to the ring. That was cool. And you could tell Punk was emotional. He was happy about it. And there we are. Punk was very happy. This is 15 minutes of entrances, though. But then again, it's the main event. It makes sense. Punk versus Rollins versus Roman. And the one Heyman loves the most. That's what the match is. And then he hugs the TV, which actually is what ended up happening. Look, I have one thing to say before I really get into a few things about this match. You did good, guys. You did good. Future mini kickouts. Apparently this is 90s All Japan without the King's Road style and without the pillars. But Punk playing mind games early on. And then they go into the goddamn crowd. And Punk picks up one of those commemorative chairs and hits Rollins with it. I hope they gave the chair back to the fan. The garbage can was used. I think it was a real garbage can. And then they're out of touch, and Roman dives. It's a good thing nobody spilled beer, because that would have been rough. So, destroy the Prime bottles. That's a good thing. I mean, nobody really wanted to see the Prime display. Prime is a terrible drink, by the way. We're back in the ring. A DDT, an inverted DDT in the neck breaker. Michael Cole doesn't know what moves are. I call it perverted DDT because it's funnier. So a Doomsday device, while Rollins is on Roman's shoulders, Punk does the thing, well, and we've got big moves and pinfalls, and I was with it at first. Now, there were a couple times where I was like, okay, we need to go home on this. I think we could have done a few less kickouts, but then again, they were doing it here. Big match. They built it up well, especially since the Rumble alone, like, you know, with Punk, Roman, and Rollins being involved in eliminations and stuff like that, and the skirmishes that they had. Punk was bleeding, and we got a GTS, we got a pedigree. We're getting a lot of good stuff. Actually, Rollins did hit a nice pedigree on Roman just for a 2 count, and Rollins basically told Roman, let's take him out. Let's take him out. Let's do the shield bomb. And Roman's like, yeah, let's do it. Woo. And he punches Rollins in the face. They got me. I'll give them that. That was pretty goddamn good. Roman puts Punk through the announcer's table and then puts Rollins through the Spanish announcer's table. Oh, you put the man with the last name of Lopez through the Spanish announcer's table. I see how it is, Roman. So, Roman gets the guillotine choke on Punk and then a roll through the Anaconda device. And then Seth gets a sharpshooter on. So, this was a good sequence, I'll say that much. And Rollins got the choke locked on him. Punk hit a stomp, hit a GTS for 2. And okay, let's go home, guys. Heyman has a chair, passes it to Punk, and does this. And he's like ready, it's like, you know, ready to do it. And it was telegraphed, I'll say that much, because Heyman has the point where he has his own gravitational pull now. And I mean, I think Punk was like having to move slowly to avoid being trapped around him. But he goes to hit Roman, and then low blow by Heyman. That's the most activity Heyman has gotten in a while. And then hands Roman the chair. And boom, 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 Punk gets laid out with the chair. And then my tribal chief, wait, Rollins is like this on the ropes, getting up. Roman has a chance to get his revenge. And then low blow to Roman. And Rollins is like, wait, what? And looks around and, hey, Heyman returned the favor, or was always going to do this. And then eventually we got a stomp. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins wins the main event of WrestleMania 41 Night 1. That's exactly what they needed to do. I mean, I wanted Punk to win. Punk didn't take the pin, though. I'm fine with that. I'm not saying it's not like he still lost, but he didn't take the pin. Roman did. And Roman still hasn't gotten his revenge on Seth, and it's the white whale that, you know, he just can't get. And good stuff for what it was. It was the best part of night 1. That's not saying much. That's faint praise. But that being said, night 2 should be, I mean, it'd be interesting. I'll say that much. You might see his stand deliver review after this. I don't know. We will see. Agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.